Hi guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 activities that you can use to help your toddler learn shapes, and actually there's a bonus activity at the end of the video if you stick around for that as well. Let's get into it. So for most of these activities, all you're going to need to do is cut out some shapes from some craft paper, from some card. You can laminate it if you think you're going to be doing these activities quite a lot, or you can just use the card like I'm using here. All you need to do is pick some shapes that you want to teach them, so a square, a circle, a triangle. I've gone for a hexagon as well, and a rectangle. And so those are the shapes that I'm teaching my son today. And what I'm doing for the first activity is super simple, and all I'm doing is getting him to match the shapes. So I just lay them out in a completely random way, and then he just matched the ones that went together. Again, I will just highlight here that my son is a preschooler, he's not a toddler, so these are going to be slightly easy for him, a lot of these activities. So yeah, just bear that in mind. This would be a bit more challenging for a younger toddler. I would say as well that if your child doesn't know their shapes yet and you're trying to use this as a way to teach them their shapes, rather than to reinforce them knowing their shapes already, then I would recommend using the same colour paper so that they know the variable is there's only one variable, and that is the shape, so that the colour doesn't change and confuse them slightly. So I would recommend using the same colour for that reason. And my son does know most of his shapes, so I do have a couple of colours used here. The next game is one that my son loved because it was a runny game, and what you need to do is stick up your shapes around the room and then simply shout run to the triangle, or just shout triangle, and you have to run as fast as they can to reach the triangle. This obviously works best if you have more than one child. Here I was using my puppet because to kind of race him, just to add an element of extra fun. But if you have other people that can race, then that's obviously ideal. My son loves to race, and a lot of kids, especially toddlers, love their growth motor skills, don't they? They love to run and jump and bounce everywhere, and so this is one that really caters to that, but also helps them to learn their shapes at the same time. Puppets have a lot of power in our house. So the next one is using a puppet. If you don't have a puppet already, you can just make one out of a sock and some googly eyes, and that's literally completely fine. But we just happened to have this puppet here, and so what I did was I laid out all the shapes on the floor, and then I made the puppet talk and kind of eat the shapes and then kind of hide them, and then at the end he kind of like barked them back at Samuel, and he thought this is hilarious. A lot of young kids will think this is absolutely hilarious. And I think I'll just run the clip just now of showing you some of that. I'm Mr. Monkey, and I would like to have a pink circle, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yum, that was delicious. I would like to have a square next.
Yeah?
Nearly, that's a hexagon. Could I have a square?
Yeah.
That's the triangle. What one is the square?
Here.
Thank you. Yum. Thank you for all the yummy shapes, Samuel.
Some more.
Bleh. he burped them on you. Is that funny?
Oh, no.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The next activity is one that young toddlers especially will love because it involves using pots and pans. My younger son, loves pots and pans. He's not quite at the age to recognise shapes yet, but he's really loving his pots and pans. So if your child likes pots and pans, then this one is for them. All you're going to do is hide the shapes inside the pots and pans. You can use clear lids or ones that you can't see inside with, which is probably even better. And what you're going to do is you're going to just help them, get them to either find a circle and look inside all the pots and try and find the circle, or you can just let them pull out whatever shape they want and then just say, oh, that's a triangle. And this is a really great one if your child doesn't already know their shapes, because they can learn it as they go. As you're pulling them out the pots, you're just saying, oh, that's a rectangle, and just stating it. And this is helping them learn along the way. The next one is for the child that likes to burst balloons. And Samuel loves to burst balloons, so I knew he would love this one. He could have done this one all day long. All you're going to need is some balloons that are blown up, of course, and then you're going to use a Sharpie and draw on them shapes. And then you're going to get a pin or something sharp. Of course, this is a supervised activity because of the use of a pin, but most kids will be okay, I think, with this. Just obviously supervise them heavily. And what I did was I said, can you find a circle? And you'd look around all the balloons, try and find a circle, and then when you found it, you would of course burst the balloon. And you keep on doing this until all the balloons are dead and gone. This was a very quick activity for us because my son really loved it. I've got a bonus activity for you as well, and it's one that I saw a similar activity in 5 Minute Mum, I think it's called, the 5 Minute Mum book. I'll link it down below just to kind of credit my source for this. She did it with shapes, she did it with letters, but I thought it'd be great with shapes as well. So what I did was I drew on card the shapes out and then kind of like bubble writing, and then I just did little lines in it to make it look like a road. Obviously the bigger the better for this kind of activity. If you've got a big massive box, you can draw a big massive shape, and that's probably more enjoyable. And you're going to get a bunch of cars and just get them to drive around the racetrack. So you're wanting to just kind of start this as like almost an invitation to play, so just have it laid out somewhere. When your child asks what it is, you can then show them, oh look, this is like a little road, and I want to go on the circle road. Do you want to come and join me in the circle road? Again, it's good for ones kids that don't already know their shapes, because you're not testing them in any way, you're just stating that you're on the circle road or you're on the square road. And then you can, what we did actually, which was really great, was we made a little traffic jam all around it. So we made a traffic jam on the triangle, so all the little cars were lined up, made a little triangle. Really great for the child that is obsessed with cars or any kind of vehicles. Those are the activities I've got for you today. If you click here, you can go to my last video, which talks about teaching your toddler colours. So 5 activities for teaching colours to your toddlers, which goes alongside quite well with shapes, I feel like. So I'll see you there, guys. Bye.